so let's move on to GU. What do we have in GU? We had some good opportunities in GU as well. Okay. Here we are. I'm going to ignore these boxes because there was nothing interesting in these boxes here. So, and this is stuff that I was marking myself to see where and what is going on. But interesting stuff started happening with this candle here, right? This candle, the first one, did not have any trades for me because this low never broke any high. Where is this reaction coming from? There was a price gap here on my feed. There was a reaction. You could have entered here, but the negative confluences were enough for me to not really be interested. I mean, yeah, I don't want to be involved with this. I don't want to be involved with this. I know these are my bread and butter setups. Why risk? Leave it alone. Let's move on to the next candle. So the next candle is what? Right here. This is the candle that I'm interested in. This is the box that I'm looking at. Price is going up, straightforward. I'm looking at the price. Price came down. This is the low that broke this high. So I'm waiting for this low to be taken, right? At this point in time, I'm already in the creation of the new wick. When price broke this low, right, and had this, that was, I think, the first wick creation of the following candle. My question would be, would this be enough for you to enter on a liquidation candle? Because the zone is a sell to buy zone. There is a clear zone over here, and there is a whole bunch of nothing in the middle. Price can easily go back and fill this fair value gap or react from here. At that point, you will be pissed. Like, why didn't I wait? So we wait a little bit and see if there is reaction. And yes, there is reaction. So that is what we did. We placed an order over here. It came back in again, and then it shot up. I don't think this was a break-even trade. No, it was. You could get a 1.1, and then that would be a break-even trade. But if you don't, if you let the trades run, this would have been a fantastic trade. Okay, so let's remove this now, and let's look at this little small candle. So what is happening within this candle? Again, you can tell me it is ranging, right? But look at this. This low broke this high, came back, did not create the lower low. So this low is strong, and it's reacting, and we are anticipating that this weak high gets broken. So I'm waiting for. Let me remove this as well. This is failed reaction, guys. The entry. This zone is created because there was direct push. Price is reacting from here. Obviously, this is the wick. This bullish candle already mitigated 50% of the wick, and now we are waiting over here. The reaction came in. We pushed higher. Great. I want to see a reaction from this place. We pushed lower. Yes, we had a reaction. So what are we reacting to? We are reacting to this demand chain now. This demand chain is forming. We push higher so we pushed higher, and we kept pushing higher, and then we had another reaction into the zone. Once we had another reaction into the zone, you could have entered at this once this breaks and kept it below this low or below this low, or you could have waited for this reaction and then could have entered below here or here, right? And you could have been easily involved in this trade. Now, this trade in itself is a little messy. If I am seeing that many reactions coming in between supply and demands, typically there is just one reaction from supply, one reaction from demand, and then there's a reaction from there. If that reaction is strong enough, it'll break to the top side or the bottom side, you are in the trade. But if this is going back and forth, I would leave this. I'm not interested in this trade. I would leave this. And if you look at within this, it's ranging, bullish movement. Price came down, this low broke this high. You are riding the trend, it closed bullish. There is no signal that it is going to turn bearish because the lows are being respected. And once the lows are being respected, it is going to the top side. Are you convinced of the setup? If not, leave it and move on. Because tomorrow you will catch another setup. And that is what happened there. Let's look at New York. So New York, big candle, the first bullish one right here. I was waiting for this zone. No liquidation happened. So for me, this is gone. No liquidation, nothing happens. What do? I wait for the next candle. It broke the low of this. So definitely now the trend is bearish. You can see it clearly. This low This high broke this low, this is high, this high broke this low, this is high, then pull back again, pull down, pull back and pull down. So anyways, you have this box here. What am I waiting for? I am waiting for my textbook entry. My textbook entry is liquidation, reaction, mitigation. That's all you need. And then you place a trade. You ask me, but these are big ones, right? Big candles. What is going on here? Yes, they are big candles. And I told you as well that buy and sells are typically wicks on larger time frames or an order block on a smaller time frame. I haven't seen this, so we'll check if on a larger time frame these are wicks. But again, you wait for the reaction. The reaction did come. I would have preferred it stronger. But again, if this wick breaks, I'm in. And to be on the safe side, I covered my entire zone because I don't know what's happening in this. Let me see if this was indeed... where am I? Look at this. Same trade, right? So if I went to 3 minutes, what did I tell you? It's the wick, right? So it did mitigate the origin side of the thing, and there could have been something within this wick that price could have reacted from. So I covered the top and then took the action. So this was the, what is it now? We're on the 3 minute chart. On the 2 minute chart, you will see those two candles pop up. Where is it? This right here. You see those two candles, and this is where I take the entry. Where am I? 1 minute. This trade. Yeah, so you see the two candles, which is a wick on a larger frame, and you have the reaction, you take this trade. An easy trade, man. This trade could have easily gone in your direction for almost was a stop 4.6 pips, and you could have taken it all the way down here to what 4.67 or easy. How do you manage that? That is something you have to backtest. How do you? Maybe you trail your stop loss. Maybe you have a fixed star return. There are many ways to manage this, and we'll cover it as we progress more into the course material. All right, so when is the next opportunity? There is nothing happening over here. I looked at it, but this bearish candle again piques my interest. I look at what the trend is telling me. The trend is telling me it's down. What it is telling me, it is that this was the last protected low that broke this high. So we are bearish, and I want to see this go. This low never broke this high. This is weak, and being weak, it is anticipated that it will definitely get run, and it does get run. But when it's getting run, it breaks this structure as well. So it's a solid bearish trend. And then I have the internal as well bearish, right? So the internal turn bearish once this goes. How do I get a trade entry over here? So what am I looking at? I'm looking at this top half of the zone. So this zone broke the previous high over here. So it's definitely a flip zone. Price comes in, breaks up, comes in, and does a little bit of full mitigation of candles, and then it breaks down. Excuse me, folks. It breaks down pretty heavily. This high would be a liquidation when this gets swept. I do not get an entry because this low never broke, so this low never broke. The next was an inside bar. The price broke to the top side, so I would have placed my next entry here, but this low never broke, and it broke to the top side. This would have been my next entry, right? Look at my stop loss. It's 1.8 pips. This is definitely liquidity because this high broke this low, and then it got swept. The wick got, see the wick? It did not close above. It's not a run. It's a sweep. So I am definitely not interested in a 1.8 hour stop loss. You could be, but I would be interested on this reaction. And this is a large wick. So if this breaks, then I'm anticipating that it's going to break. Otherwise, the price, this should be strong and the price should keep moving upwards. So, but if this breaks, then the price is melting. This is exactly what happens, and you barely made a 2R on this one with a 3.2 stop loss. But again, 2R is a 2R. This is textbook. All right, so that's New York. And then I didn't pay much attention to what's going on over here, really. There you have it, folks. So again, a couple of things I want to wrap this up with. Always make sure that you train your eyes into really seeing subconsciously what these trade setups are. Identify liquidations, strong liquidations. Identify your zones that you want mitigations. And if the liquidation is pretty clear, you can enter on the liquidation candle or wait for the reaction if you think the zone is not very clear to you. If the zone is not very clear to you, then don't enter on the liquidation. Wait for a reaction to confirm that the zone is holding. The advanced concept obviously is that if a no trade develops within the two candles, then you can look at the larger structure. But those larger structure setups are going to be difficult. They're going to increase your losses if you don't understand price action. But if you do, by all means, play around with it. If you don't, stick with the prime candle, the echo candle, look for your trade setups within those candles and execute when they present yourself. Don't fear execution. One of the biggest problems with traders and why they lose often, right? It's not the strategy again. It's the mindset of not entering, FOMOing it when you're not supposed to FOMO, when you're supposed to enter with conviction. Once that entry gets missed and you see the trade run in your direction, then entering and catching it later is FOMOing it because you already missed the best entry. And then don't make narratives that later in the trade, which has already left you figure out some entries that convince your bias and you enter and then you lose. That will play a big number on your mindset. All right, guys, you take care. Bye now.